The gray market has run rampant. I mean, it's in Buffalo here and elsewhere. I mean, I think the joke in New York City is there's 5 gray market shops on every single corner. And what the state really needs to do, and obviously there are measures that they're discussing, is how do we get this completely out of the equation and really run the operation that we meant to when the MRTA was passed 2 years ago.
All right, so that was a week ago. Now we know the newly passed state budget does boost enforcement to try to put an end to all these illicit sales of marijuana across New York State and here in Western New York. Take a look at this. The state's Cannabis Control Board and the state tax regulators will now be able to inspect any retailer that is selling or gifting marijuana products and also seize anything that's illegal. Any business that's in violation could face fines of up to $20,000 per day. The budget also creates a new tax fraud crime for businesses that violate the tax rules. Another change will also allow fines against landlords if they knowingly allow these unlicensed sales on their property. And then there at the end, $16 million earmarked to help with stepped up enforcement. 2 on Your Side's Dave McKinley joins us now with what the city of Buffalo is also trying to do to end these illegal sales. Dave?
Well, back when it became apparent, Michael, that state licensed stores selling recreational marijuana were coming, the city did want to position itself to have its own regulations and oversight regarding, for instance, where they could be located and if they could inspect them. But it is concentrating instead more on those stores, like you mentioned, many of them tobacco and vape shops, which were essentially selling a now legal substance, marijuana, through rather creative and unauthorized means, such as gifting it with the purchase of, let's say, an overpriced sticker or a keychain or a t-shirt or some such thing. The Common Council yesterday passed new regulations requiring a license now to operate a smoke shop in Buffalo. It's $200 a year, but to get it, you have to pass a police background check. You have to agree to open your doors to annual inspections, and the owner also has to agree no gifting.
Hold people accountable, make sure they're doing the right thing, selling legal products, things of that nature. We've had meetings with the Office of Cannabis Management when it comes to the cannabis licenses coming down the road. We want to make sure all of our legislation mirrors what they're doing, and so we can hold people accountable if they're not operating properly.
Not as dire as those outlined by the state that you just mentioned, but there are some hefty city fines for violating the rules. And of course, the thing about having to have a license, if you're not doing things by the book, they can strip you of that license and therefore put you out of business entirely.
Yeah, we went over those hefty fines from the state there.
Right.
The state obviously doing a lot here to try to fight back on this. Why did the city feel the need to kind of get involved in this?
Well, you have to remember the regulations now that came out by the state came about with a budget, right? The just passed budget. City Councilman Chris Scanlon, who you've heard from there, began formulating the city's legislation months ago when they had no idea at that time what the state might do. We'd also note that the city regulations do not appear to require state licensed marijuana shops to have an additional license from the city, only requiring that the state license be displayed with a QR code that is readable from outside of the store. And that might be for the ability of inspectors to actually inspect things from outside. Now, I did also ask real quickly, Michael, if when they were formulating this, did the state say, hey, mind your own business, we got this, stay in your own lane? He said no, and part of that might be if the state is going to go around and inspect these various shops, whether or not they're selling products legally or not, that's a lot of people. They need to do that. These things are all over the place. If you get the city involved or other municipalities on a local level, it gives you more boots on the ground. So that could actually work to assist the state in its efforts.
Grown into a big problem, so it takes a lot of resources to deal with it. Dave, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.